morning, everyone. It is August 12th, 2024, and we are going to talk about what sold on eBay this week. Actually, I had quite a few sales. It seems to have picked up a little bit, but I do notice like an ebb and flow of sales on eBay where I'll go a few days and sell one or two things, and then I'll have a day where I sell like five. And I don't know why that's happening. But other sellers have mentioned that too, almost like there's a throttle that's going on where certain sellers are selling a bunch in a short period of time and then it goes quiet. And during that time, another seller is selling more. Whether there's any truth to that, I really don't know. Some people are just like, if you have good stuff, it'll sell no matter what. Yes and no. I think there's a lot of other factors at play. But let's dig in, and we will start with this Leapfrog Leap TV Frozen game. It had the actual case, the cartridge, and the manual. And unfortunately, this has already been returned. Apparently, the cartridge did not work, but I didn't have anything to test it with, so this I think I got in the Goodwill bin, so I didn't pay a whole lot. It sold for $9.99. Nothing too exciting here anyway, but did kind of lose a few dollars on this one, but mainly because I wasn't able to test it before I shipped it. Funny little story on this guy. My twins have recently discovered Turbo, which is such a cute movie. You know, and DreamWorks always nails it. Between DreamWorks and Disney, everybody's happy. And I was out garage sailing with my family, and I was leaving this garage sale, and I saw this pillow, and I was like, oh my god, it's a Turbo pillow. Had never seen a Turbo pillow before, so that's when I was sitting there thinking, I bet you this is, you know, actually worth something. So the lady that was running the sale, I had already checked out, and I was like, I want to get this too. How much is it? She's like, just take it, you know, like, because I had bought a bunch of stuff at her sale, so I don't think she really cared. But guys, I got this for free, and it was up for what, 2 months, but it sold for $44.99. Who knew? So it wasn't in the best of shape in terms of the tags, but the pillow itself was in great shape, no stains. So really excited to have sold this on something that I didn't even buy. So good buy, good sell. I picked up this Yankee Candle centerpiece. It's brand new in the box. It is like a wax warmer. There's like these melt cups that you can get. I had actually gotten some of those at a garage sale, and I just pop them out. I just pop the wax out and put them in my regular wax burners. But this is the one that actually goes with the cups. And anything Yankee Candle typically sells pretty well anyway. So I went ahead and picked this up at a garage sale. I want to say she had like $3 on it. And I shipped it, and it sold. It sold for $27.49. So that was actually a pretty decent profit. And I wrapped the crap out of it with bubble wrap to make sure it made it. I haven't heard yay or nay if there were any complaints, so I'm hoping it arrived safely. This is another game from that computer game lot that I purchased a while ago that I've already made my money on. This is the Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition for PC. And so this, since we're in the profit zone, it's just considered free money at this point. I listed it, and it sold relatively quickly at $10.99. There was one garage sale where the lady had a bunch of Pokemon plush, and I think she had like $1 or $2. They were all priced different. I'm not quite sure her pricing strategy. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, it wasn't like the smaller ones were $1 and the medium-sized ones were $2. But I asked, like, if I bought them all, if I could get a good deal. And I forget how many I had and what I ended up paying, but I think it ended up being like $1 a plush. And so I finally got some of those listed. I had my daughter babysit my twins while I went out to the storage unit for like 5 hours, and I got so much stuff done. So I finally got all these Pokemon plush listed, and this one sold relatively quickly. This is the Grookey, and he sold for $11.99. I typically try and stay away from these Scentsy burners just because they're glass, and this one didn't even have like the foam or anything to package it. It was just in the box. So I had to wrap everything really good with bubble wrap, put it in the box, and then I wrapped the box in bubble wrap, put it in another box. So with shipping, I think it was like $7 or $8 to ship this. So, and I think you can kind of see the garage sale tag on there, like the remains of it. I want to say I paid like $2 for it. Like, it was so cheap that I went ahead and I took the hit on something that is difficult to ship. I try and stay away from that unless it's a really good deal. So I'm a little bummed on this one. I feel like it was going to bring more because it's an owl. Like, people are kind of bonkers about owls, and it was kind of cute. But yeah, I probably made a couple bucks. Nothing too exciting on this one. Here's my good old Bath and Body Works lotion. Again, I don't pay more than $2 a container. I list them if they appear to be new and full. And this one is a Japanese cherry blossom scent, which is still being sold, so it's not a retired scent. And it went for $9.99. I've had these for a while. Was kind of glad to see them go. They were kind of a pain in the butt to ship, not because they were breakable, but just because they're like a really weird shape and size. So it did go in a bigger box, and I'm trying to remember how much shipping was on this. I mean, I still made my money. I picked these up either in the Goodwill bins, or I will find them at thrift stores or garage sales even. But if they have like most of their pieces, I will grab them. If you find them for like 25 cents, 50 cents. My kids use these, and I know how expensive they are, so I always grab them to lot them up like this. But yeah, this was listed back in January, and it finally sold here in August. I know I had it priced higher, and I just kept marking it down. So we got it down to $64.99, shipped for free. I still made money on these. I'm just a little shocked at how long it took for them to sell. I know a lot of people are bonkers about Alice in Wonderland, so when I saw the Squishmallow at the thrift store on their half price day, I had to grab him. He is the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. He is a Squishmallow. He is a Disney branded one, and he was clean, cute, and cheap. So I think I paid like a buck on him, and I sold him for $10.99. I think I sold another set of these last week. I don't know why they're selling all of a sudden, because some of these I've had for a while. This I listed back in June, but they are the Scentsy sample like scents. So you open them up and you can smell them. So if you're ordering something, you know what it smells like. So they're just little samplers, and it came in the cute little Scentsy bag, so I included that as well. I got this at a garage sale, I want to say for $2, and it sold for $19.99. Next item that sold is this little Care Bears plush. I always pick these up, even if they're in the 2000s. So this one was marked 2002. And this is Friend Bear. He had the tags, but he did have a little bit of dirt and staining on him, though. So I did mention that. And he still sold for $9.99. I believe, if I remember correctly, I got this at the thrift store. I picked these up whenever, so I'm trying to peg when I got this one, but I want to say I picked this up at thrift store on their half price day. In my journey with Littlest Pet Shops, I have noticed that sometimes I will buy lots that have special ones in them that are worth some money. And even though I do most of my pets on Whatnot, there are times when I have a higher end one, but nobody can afford to pay the higher end price, and it goes for like $20, $25. So what I've been doing is if it's worth $50 or more, I'm pulling it. Because I've been pleasantly surprised. I've had some that are high value, and they sell for more than what they're running on eBay. So the auctions, I think, just depends on who's in the auction, who's looking, if they're getting it for a personal collection, if they're getting it to resell. I think there's just too many factors to really determine what something's going to go for in a Whatnot auction versus on eBay. So this is a leopard print short hair cat, which is one of the main fives. I had actually picked up some of these really cute little food thingies that I included in the picture through another seller that was stopping selling LPS on eBay. So she was selling her little food items. So I threw those in there, and this cutie sold for $69.99. And I actually got this in a really cheap lot with a few authentics. It was like a wing and a prayer, like, well, it's cheap enough. If those are authentic, it's a good deal. If they're not, maybe I broke even. But when they arrived, they were indeed authentic. So that was a good purchase for me. Next item that sold on eBay is this women's top. It is Minnesota Vikings. I have a Minnesota family in my life, so I spotted it from a mile away. It is brand new with tags. It did have a price tag of $40, so I kind of expected it to go for more. But I listed it back in January, and I believe I got this. If it was in January, I did like a big shopping spree at my local thrift store on their half price day, because January was when I was just diving into this, like, let's do this. And I know I left with a cart full of clothes. This had to be one of them. I probably paid a couple bucks knowing it was new with tags, and sold it for $14.99. Whenever I find these J. Garcia ties, I always pick them up. Some of them are super cool. I wish they were artwork. Like these ties can be pretty stunning. And there's two newer ones and two older ones. You can kind of tell the brighter ones are the newer ones. The darker ones are the older ones. And in this lot, I did have, if you see there on the side of that tie, it does have a bunch of like imperfection there, like it rubbed off on something. Otherwise, the rest were all fine. So I put all four of these up for $19.99, and they sold relatively quickly. These, like I said, I pick these up when I find them. Sometimes garage sales, sometimes thrift stores, sometimes in the Goodwill bins. So I probably didn't pay a whole lot for these. So the $19.99 was a solid buy. More Bath and Body Works items. This is the Marshmallow Pumpkin Latte Lotion, and this one sold for $11.99. This was a purchase that I really thought was going to do better, and it didn't. It is the NutriBullet baby food lot. It has like the little blender piece and then the storage containers. Like, look how cute those are. Oh my gosh, like stop. Okay, so like I got these at half price day at the local thrift store. I want to say I paid about $4 for them. I was like, ooh, NutriBullet, that's a big name. Like these will do well. And they sat and they sat and they sat. So they finally sold at $14.99. And I think by the time I shipped it and everything, I probably broke even on this. So this one's kind of funny. Okay, so I got this at a garage sale. A lady was selling like the last of her Scentsy stuff, and I bought it all. I forgot what I paid for it, but I got several of like the Scentsy Buddies and the scent packs and the wax bars. I got like a whole bunch of Scentsy stuff. I forgot what I gave her as like a full offer, and she's like, all right, fine. So she packed it all up. So this here is kind of funny though, because this sold, and then 2 days later, because I hadn't shipped it yet because it was sold on the weekend, I got a message from the buyer, and she said, can you please cancel this? So I was like, whatever. Like, I've learned not to ship it anyway because that always ends up in a negative feedback. So I'm like, whatever. So I went ahead and did a buyer cancel this morning, and as I've been doing this video, it sold again to the same person, and then they sent me a message that said, do not cancel this. I don't know. So what a, like, this is so weird. Who does that? So I don't know what happened there. So it did officially now resell this morning for $21.99. Picked up this time tracker at a garage sale. I want to say I paid like $2 for it. I've gotten this before, and I've gotten it with just the light, not even the manual or the box, and it sold well. This one I had marked a little bit higher, I think. And so, but yeah, it sold. It's got the actual unit, the box, and the manual with it. I threw in some batteries, made sure it worked. So I made a few bucks off this. Sometimes when I have a lot of something and I don't have the time to really research every single piece and figure out, you know, if I were to split this up, how much would these be worth? This was just one of those things that I'm like, I have no idea. You look at comps, they're all over the board. I'm sure it depends on what pieces are in there or pieces that are hard to find. And me, I ain't got time for that. So I went ahead and put this whole lot up. I put it up as an auction. I think I did $9.99 was the starting. Let me double check. I want to say I started at $9.99. Yes. So I started at $9.99 and let her ride for a 7-day auction, and it sold for $17.25. Trying to run some auctions with some bulkier items to get things moving in the storage unit. And so I listed this box of Magic Treehouse books. There were 33 in here. I get these thrift stores, garage sales, Goodwill bins, 3 for $1. And this had a little bit of a bidding war. Started at $24.99, had 5 bids, and ended at $31. When I purchase some of my LPS lots, I sometimes end up with this tackle box, which is a popular item. This one, though, is a little bit rough shape. I mean, it needs a good cleaning. I just did not have time. And it's missing the cardboard inserts that go near the top. But the big factor is the latch. The latch is known for being missing whenever you find them. And this one had the latch, and it worked. So I am packing this up today. I'm trying to remember how much it cost to ship the last one. But this, I kind of consider this free because I buy the lots and I don't take this into account when it comes with this. So if I win it, it's like I paid what I want per pet, and this was like a freebie. So I kind of consider this a free item, and it's sold for $64.99. Was out at my storage unit the other night while my kids were at a parents' night out event. I used that time to get some quiet time and get some listing done out at the storage unit. And I went through all of my Bath and Body Works wallflowers. I grab them whenever I see them and listed several lots. This is the one that sold the fastest. It had just the basic ones. It's got a red and a pink one, and it's got two of them that are brand new with the tags on them. And I sold all of them for $29.99. And last but not least, I sold this Bonfire Bash. This is a Bath and Body Works lotion. This is one that is retired and discontinued. And so it's sold for $34.99. And like I said, I never pay more than $2 on these. So I was super stoked to sell this for what I did. So that is the last item I've got this week. This week it's a little crazy. My little ones start kindergarten tomorrow. And then my daughter goes to school then on Wednesday onward. So school is starting, new routines, especially for the twins because they're not in daycare. I won't have them on Tuesdays and Thursdays anymore, but they do have shorter days than they did at daycare. So everybody's going to be shifting their schedule and their usual routine. So definitely need some time to get resituated with that. But I will be on next Monday to go over what sold on eBay. Have a great week, guys.